Hi, welcome to Tania's Truth Talk. I'm a former madam that ran 4 Canadian brothels and employed hundreds of prostituted women. And in my journey, I have come across a lot of people from challenging lifestyles. So in this episode, I'm going to introduce you to a very fine young gentleman who has had an amazing story of redemption. Welcome to the show, Liam.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you doing, Liam?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you for coming today. And you know, Liam, you and I go back a ways there, and we've gone to the same church and stuff, and I know you have an amazing story, and you come from quite a bit of a tragic past, but you've found redemption. So we're going to get into this episode about what you've been through and how you've turned your life around. So can we talk a little bit about your past and your upbringing and what you've been through?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it all started out at the age of 2 when my dad left the home due to communication issues with my mom. And I basically just came from a broken home, and I didn't have any proper guidance. I felt like I was abandoned. I just felt no sense of belonging. I didn't feel like I had an identity. And so I really struggled with that as a young child, you know, wanting to have a father, a male role model in my life.
Yes.
And my mom was always there for me, provided everything for me. She picked up what my father didn't. But at the same time, I inherited a lot of anger and bitterness from her, which just really was poisonous to me, and caused me to go astray and do a bunch of things that, you know, I'm ashamed of or not proud of or I regret.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had a broken home and you felt like you had no acceptance, and this is a common occurrence in today's society with a lot of children that are raised without fathers.
Yeah.
So how would you say that affected your life?
Oh, majorly. I mean, just being able to understand and learn how to operate as a man. You know, I believe that you don't raise a child, you raise an adult. And so when two parents have a kid, they want to raise an adult so that he's able to operate in the real world and learn responsibilities, learn respect, learn manners, learn morals.
So where did you feel that how did you feel that you had to teach yourself to earn respect in today's society?
Well, I think all of us are very influenced by entertainment, media, even our peers, people that are around us, and
music.
Most importantly, our parents, you know.
Right.
Before we even get to go to elementary school or daycare, everything we know is from what our parents have taught us.
Right.
And I give my mom a lot of credit for teaching me a lot of good things.
But she was your mother, so you didn't really have like a male role model to teach you. So I mean, you're a very manly man. So how would you say that you taught yourself to be a man? Where did you get that influence from?
Partly some was from my older family members, like my older cousins.
Okay.
Some of it was from television. Some was just being out on the street and hanging out with my friends and their older brothers and stuff.
So what would you say, you know, your example that you've learned from the people that are on the streets and so forth, would you say that was a manly example that you were taught? And what type of areas did you go down while you're with the people on the street? So elaborate a little bit more on that.
It wasn't a good manly example. I actually hung out with a lot of drug dealers and criminals.
Okay.
Basically a lot of people that came from the same upbringing I came from, like a broken home, which caused them to go astray. And it's almost like it was just recycling itself. So it was being passed down. So everyone I hung out with was doing crime mostly, and just
so you became a product of your own environment, so to say. The old saying goes, the birds of a feather will flock together, right?
Yeah.
So what type of things were you involved in? What did you get into with these people that you were hanging around with?
Well, I remember smoking at an early age. So at the age of 12, I was smoking cigarettes. I tried marijuana at the age of 12. I was into graffiti, so I liked art, and I'd, you know, go around the city and try to paint the walls.
Right.
I was getting into fights, you know, just I felt a sense of belonging and family with my friends. So whatever they were going through, I would just be down to ride with them and do whatever it is that they were doing.
So it's interesting that you say that it was a sense of family, because I find that a lot of young people growing up nowadays who don't have stability in the home, as I always say, it always starts in the home, right? They find their family with other kids that are on the streets that have no family, so they make their own little family, and they learn and they grow in their way from that. So I remember you telling me before that you've been involved in some crime. As a matter of fact, you were robbing people. You were, in a sense, a thug. You were a criminal. right?
Yeah.
So what would you say how that has affected your life today as opposed to back then?
Well, today I'm no longer robbing people, which, you know, I thank
Yes.
Jesus Christ for.
Yeah.
He saved me from that. But yeah, I used to rob people at school. It started off small, you know. I'd rob people for, you know, money.
Yes.
And then it would be clothes and different items. And then, you know, people were really intimidated by me.
Yes.
And I was very conceited and arrogant. I had a chip on my shoulder. I was very angry because my father wasn't around. So I had really not a lot of things to outlet my anger, to get out there. I had sports, but the main thing that gave me confidence was doing crime and robbing people because I got the most out of it.
As in respect,
Yeah.
where nobody messed with you,
Yeah.
type of thing.
And I also got like a lot of cool stuff like shoes and money and jewelry and stuff like that. But
So,
I ended up selling them and
so that was to fit in with the nicer
Yeah.
clothes, and you were dealing drugs as well?
I tried selling marijuana. I
Yeah.
wasn't good at it because I love smoking weed. And
You
so
were
I just,
smoking, getting high on your own
yeah,
supply?
I was smoking it all. And that was pretty much to like
Yeah.
escape reality and just to try to cure the pain that I had inside of me. But it never worked because I kept having to smoke and smoke and smoke, and the pain was just always there.
You know, I find it very interesting that you say that, because I have so many people tell me that when they've gotten involved in drugs, that they've come from lifestyles where they carry a lot of pain. So it's almost like a self-medication that a lot of these children are doing drugs to self-medicate the pain, because they come from a broken home, where I tell so many people it always starts in the home, right? So what would you say now? Because I know you have a music career that's going. You were a rapper from before, a hip hop artist.
I was just dibbling and dabbling with it. I just
Yes.
like to freestyle, hang out with friends. I used to get high and just freestyle with some friends, put on a beat, but I wasn't really taking it serious. It was just something that I had a passion for, but
Right.
wasn't trying to, you know, push my music anywhere.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, I've heard you perform, and I think you're absolutely amazing. And in my opinion, I think you're like a version of the Snoop Dogg. I mean, you've got a really laid back, cool kind of
Yeah.
style to you, and you definitely stand out apart from a lot of hip hop artists that I've heard. Is there anything you've written or freestyle that you could spit out right now?
Yeah, I mean, I've been writing a lot lately. I'm
let's
just
hear
trying to think.
And you write your own lyrics, yeah.
Yeah. All right, this is a verse off of a song I did from
Okay.
a mixtape. It's called The Huddle.
Okay, the huddle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus got me in his palm like the Psalms to King David. I flipped through the pages from here to Revelation. It's devastating if you don't apply this application. My supplication on my knees, floor facing, rebuking Satan, killing the flesh, no sensation for sin. So my intent is real emancipation. From East Van City to Bridgetown, St. Philly, God's people feel me. Even heathens want to kill me for the God living in me. The Holy Spirit guilty for using me to preach the gospel, laws against me. An outlaw blessed by the Lord, his grace heal me. No weed, sex, or liquor, cause death trying to see me. Early 30 like Malik Sealy. Every day's a test, put on a chest plate of righteousness. The weapon is my word. I empty out the clip, hoping you get hit with real life, no death. But if you reject the love that projects out the cannon of the living word, you'll probably stay vexed. This is tech in your deck, my cess the Northwest. I rebuke the Baphomet and anything that elects itself against the living God will only see death.
Wow, that is amazing, you know,
Thanks.
and that is so influential, you know, and what is so important today is influencing the younger generations, and so many of these young children are listening to hip hop music, but it's just got so much garbage in it that influences them in such negative ways, with the fancy cars and the sexy women and all that kind of stuff, and here you are rapping about redemption in Jesus Christ. That is just a testimony, like an amazing testimony. How are you feeling today, and what kind of work are you doing today?
I'm just actually humbled, you know. Even when you asked me to do that rap, I was just kind of nervous because I know that I can't do rap music, I can't do life, I can't do anything without the power of God. And he's the one that gives us breath. He's the one that wakes us up in the morning, whether we know it or not, whether we agree with it or not.
Yes.
He's our creator. He loves us, and I know that, you know, without him, I'm nothing. And so I need him every single day for every moment. I'm not perfect, but he is.
Right.
You know, so.
And, you know, as we were saying earlier, you know, I mean, just because you were dealing drugs, you were doing drugs, you were robbing people, in God's eyes, we're all the same. He took that up on the cross for our sins, right?
Yeah.
So that is just amazing. You know, I know you, I see the work that you do in church, and right now you were going to a Bible college. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah,
so you went from a thugging and gangster lifestyle to going to Bible college and rapping and writing for the Lord.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think that's just a witness and a testimony to show that God is real and what He can do, because I couldn't do it by my own strength.
Wow.
I am currently I'm at PLBC. I just finished the semester there.
Okay, I'm just, you know, this is getting into some really good stuff, so I'm just
Okay.
going to cut you off before we go on to the
Okay.
commercial break. So here we are talking with Liam, known as Technique, and we will come back with some exciting information about his story and what he's doing now after the break.